Hey, y'all.
Hey, everybody.
I tell you one thing, if this last election did not teach us anything, it illustrated to me why it has been time to leave the United States.
Oh my God, it seems like it gets crazier and crazier and more difficult. No, it wasn't a red wave, but Georgia election should be nowhere close. It shouldn't be neck and neck with that idiot. Colorado election should not be, Lauren Boebert should be a thing of the past. And they're getting ready to recount votes and stuff. So I think we might have made the right decision to get out.
I
It
didn't
ain't
I
getting no
didn't hear
better.
any of that latest because I
Oh,
haven't
I
been
I
paying
did.
attention.
I just checked today to see what
Oh
was
my
going on.
God,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. So, the other thing is I think I finally realized now that we've spent the majority of the last 6 months outside of the United States, I think I finally realized that I'm not sure that I've ever really truly been happy or could be happy living in the United States.
Outside of family and friends, very close friends, which were few, that's the only thing I think that I will miss about the United States, and it's just a plane trip away.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because it just keeps getting crazier and crazier there.
Yeah.
People get meaner and meaner. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for joy.
I don't know who Joy is, but if she's a nice lady, I'll be ready for it.
Silly. Let's introduce ourselves. Hey, y'all. My name is Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia. This is a COVID edition.
Yeah, yeah. So you notice that we are not in the same room. Why is that, Rick? Why is that?
Well, because I got COVID. So I still have COVID. I've been suffering from COVID since Thursday. So I've been quarantined to the bedroom, one of the bedroom. Thank God we got more than one. Uh, my wife is in the studio right now, and I'm in our bedroom.
Yes, I tested negative. He tested positive. I'd like to keep it. Well, I don't want him to test positive again, but I definitely want to stay negative, though. I think my body has been trying to fight it. So we'll see how long we last tonight because it always gets worse in the
It
evening, and
hits
y'all
you at
know,
Yes,
right?
it
It's
hits you at nighttime. You feel kind of better. You feel kind of good. I slept. I woke up at 4 this morning, and I couldn't really go back to sleep till like 6. So, and I dozed off. I took a nap this afternoon, but it just wears you out, and it hurts, and it wears you out. No breathing problems, thank goodness. But I wouldn't wish this on anybody. So it's
mm-mm.
not over, folks. It's not over. Wear your masks, and
Yeah, yeah,
especially in crowded places, like if you're getting on trains or buses or whatever in crowded stores, please wear your mask, especially
yeah,
during the holiday season. It's
yeah.
not worth going through all this. It really
I,
isn't.
I've never had it. Knock on wood. But first, if you're new to our channel, what do we talk about? We talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational reward. Generational wealth is going to be one of them shows. So, you know what we're talking about today, but sweetheart, do you want to let them know?
We're going to talk about the reasons we left the United States.
Yes. And then why we chose Portugal. So stick around to the end because we've got 5 main reasons why we left the United States and 7 reasons why we chose Portugal over any other place on the planet.
Yes.
So, all right, but first let's see who is in the chat. Action VJ, we just love you. You are so consistent. You are so consistent. And so thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, lady. Thank you. Justine Jones is in the house. Hello, 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 Anita. Good to see you. I just clicked Justine. Hey, Margaret. Good to see you from Memphis, Tennessee.
I think
And
it's
we've got
Marguerite. That
is
looks
it
like
is it Marguerite?
Marguerite.
I think
Yeah.
it could be Marguerite.
ETE. Yeah.
It could be Marguerite. So I apologize if it is. Let us know. Vanessa Ruiz, Travel Artistry by VR. Love it from Maryland. That's too close to DC. That's too close to DC, right? I would just be like, nah, I'd have to leave. Red blonde chick. I love it. Hey, Arnell. Hey, Greta. Hey, Carla. Yeah, we will feel better. We will feel better. Hey, high vibe. Good to see you. Valerina in the house. Jackay's Journey, it looks like. Good to see you. That looks like a new name. Does that look familiar to you?
No,
Okay.
it looks new.
No, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Rhonda. Good to see you in the chat. Who else? I think I just saw Arnell, didn't I? Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes,
saw Auntie
yes.
Trey.
Auntie Trey.
Auntie
Yeah.
Trey is here. Yeah.
COVID. We went through all of this time without ever getting it. We've been
Without
boosted
ever getting it.
twice.
Yeah.
And now, right now. So, y'all, yeah, he's got the cooties. He's got the cooties and he has been banned. I don't want his cooties all over the house. So, hey, Vicky, good to see you.
Come on, we're supposed to share
And,
things.
and Carla, no,
Cooties included.
no, creativity reigns. Good to see you. Yes, it was worse yesterday. And we probably need to get another booster shot because the last one we got was in June. No, basically June,
Nope.
the end of May.
Yeah, it was May. And
Right.
I keep getting things on my phone from CVS and everybody saying it's time for your next booster. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to make arrangement with Serenity.
Yeah, that we talked
And,
about. If
and
you
you know
guys are
the
in
funny thing, babe?
50 over fire over 50 group.
The funny thing, babe, is I was supposed to go to the doctor for
I
my
know,
first doctor's
yesterday.
appointment. Yeah.
Yesterday. So we had to cancel that and reschedule it. And Serenity did all of that for us and came by and dropped off meds.
Dropped off meds. I mean, my God, I was freaked out because there's certain medications I have to take. Nothing life threatening. Well, one, if I don't take it, eventually to get me down. And they got all my medications filled, and
Yeah.
they brought them to our apartment.
Yeah.
They brought them to our apartment.
Yeah. So, y'all, if you have not seen the interview with Serenity Cares Portugal and you are in the Fire Over 50 group, member of the Black diaspora or the African diaspora, then please go over there and look, join. If you have tried to join and you did not answer the questions, or you don't have a picture of yourself, your family, or nothing on your Facebook page, I have probably messaged you. And so you need to go into your Facebook Messenger, answer those questions, and there we go. So, hey, Krishan, boa tarde for you, boa noite for us. Good to see you in the chat. Yep, mask on, definitely. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce your name. And I'm not sure. So, Danza. I see Danza in there, 54. So, well, welcome. Hey there. Nice
And
to see you.
I am feeling better. I am feeling a whole lot better than I was. We'll see tonight if I have to wake up and change my clothes again because I've drenched everything I have on.
Yeah, it has been. And so, okay, Anita, so you're saying on the trains in Spain, they're still wearing masks. Yeah, I think that they're going to reinstate that on public transportation here in Portugal as well. For all of you who are new, Rick and I live in Lisbon, Portugal. And if you're watching from the future, hey, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're logging in from. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Rebecca, good to see you in the chat. I am going to be calling you about your friend or your colleague, actually, whose son plays football. So just know.
Hi, Rebecca.
So glad we saw you before he caught the Rona. So yeah, people be acting crazy. All right. Let's see. Did we miss anyone? Utopia's cousin. I don't know if you are, cousin. I know you're not, but I just love it. So, hey there, good to see you, Vicky G. Mocha Mosaic. Hey there, good to see you. Are you back in the States? Isan One or Asan One, good to see you. Good to see you, Agami. Good to see you, and LXN, formerly known as Sexy LX. Okay. Hi. Good to see you again because you were here last Sunday.
Yes.
Hey, Professor. Good to see you. Layla. All right. Cher Glenn, I think I said hello to everyone. Sharon, hello. Hello, family. Hello, hello, hello. So let's get to our top 5 reasons. And this first one, you guys will already know, but we're going to break this down because we had about 15 reasons for leaving the United States and we had to
Yeah.
consolidate. So the number one reason, sweetheart, that we left the United States is
Peace of mind, the
yeah,
culture, racism, gaslighting, political, and the gun culture. And
right.
I'm a gun owner, but sensible.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that stuff is the culture of the United States that does not lead to my peace of mind.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, the overall thing is safety. Feeling safe.
So yeah, yeah. So when we were there for a month in August, it seemed like every day, every other day, there was some mass shooting. Right now, you can't open carry in Denver, in the city of Denver, but it seemed like everywhere else, folks were showing up open carry, right? So, as gun owners and responsible gun owners, it's just crazy.
But
And the
there's
politics and the bombardment on the media of those commercials, and it just doesn't stop. Go ahead, sweetheart. What were you going to
no, I
say?
was going to say the thing that even Denver, where you would think it is safe, there's been more shootings in Denver within the last year. It's been real crazy. And that's what they're reporting. And I still get ring notices all the time in different areas and stuff like that. And there's constantly shootings. It's like,
Yeah.
what the Wild Wild West, what's going on?
When I moved to Denver in 1997, 1998, people were still leaving their cars running while they ran into 7-Eleven. That's how much it's changed from 1998 to today. Someone was like, "You got to come back and run for mayor." I was like, "I don't think so." Nuh-uh. Smarter people have tried to fix that stuff, and we see it ain't getting fixed. So, no. But the gaslighting, sweetheart. So if you are not from America and you wonder why we're called our Black Utopia or African American, you do not understand unless you live there. If you are from America and you ain't Black, don't gaslight me and talk about it's our fault for talking about this stuff. That's the reason why there's racism and all the other nonsense. I had a boss tell me, "Halisi, I want you bald and chained to your desk. Slave days aren't over." I had another boss write up that my problem is I ask too many questions in staff meetings. I am to be seen and not heard. But it's not because of racism, even though I was literally the only Black person on staff.
No, it's never about racism. Who's racist?
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
racist.
yeah. So, miss me with all of that. I know that anti-Blackness is everywhere, even on the continent of Africa. I know that. But some places, at least they acknowledge it. Like, I'd rather have you just say, we don't like y'all. We don't like y'all. We think y'all are inferior. So you got to do X, Y, and Z. But don't act like everything is fine. It's like if you look at the commercials and you look at television and movies, right? It seems like, well, what? The only people who are not making it are the people who don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Killer Queen is in Cascais.
Oh man. Tell us how you like that down there. Or over
Yeah,
there. Or where is it?
it's
It's
down and
over,
over.
down. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little south. It's a little south of Lisbon,
Kashkaish
Portugal.
is beautiful.
It is beautiful. It reminds me of La Jolla. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So number one was peace of mind because the culture in the United States is just too much. Um, Number 2, healthcare. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, then you may not know my story, but for most of you, you know that I have 2 aging parents that I have to manage their care from here. And my dad, when he was still living with us and declining, and I was trying to find help for him, that's when I understood that in America, if you ever need serious medical help, you will die in poverty. It just does not matter. It doesn't matter how much money you have, unless you have like Elon Musk money, right? Right? Like if you just have normal money. And when I say normal, I'm even putting 7 figures in there. Like if you have $1.5 million and then you need long-term care, you will go through that money in about 5 years. So why are we, on this mission for financial independence? Why are we, being responsible and pulling ourselves up by the bootstrap? Which is a nonsensical statement, right?
Yeah, my boots never came with any straps.
Well, it doesn't even make sense because you flip yourself over. But, if the notion is, I guess what people mean is that, at some point you have to take responsibility for your own life. True. But there's no way everybody cannot be an Elon Musk. And I don't want to be. Like, I don't want to be, not just the racist that he is, but, I don't want to be a billionaire because I don't want to work hard enough to be a billionaire. Right? So millionaire is good enough. And the healthcare system will eat that alive. If God forbid either of us got cancer in the United States, Obamacare, ACA had a cap. I don't know if they still have a cap on maximum out of pocket, but long-term care, is not covered by insurance. It's just not. So, what do you want to add to that, sweetheart?
It's just like you said. They want you to die in poverty. The system, whoever the system is them, they. But there's just when we were talking to Dr. Mike with the Facebook group, and asked the question about one of the medications I take. Now I just got the medication filled. It cost me €8, or was it 11 for that? No, it was cheaper. It was €8 99 for a Synthroid. And Synthroid is for thyroid, and you have to take it. It's hormones that you have to take for the rest of your life. In the United States, I have a prescription waiting for me right now at Target CVS, $142
With Medicare
with Medicare
Advantage.
And I asked him, I said, why is this? He says, I don't know why they charge so much in the United States for the same medicine that we're giving you here.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Wendy. Yay. Planning your
And
exit
welcome.
next
And I
year.
see she said she was new to the channel too.
Oh, great.
Welcome,
Welcome,
Wendy.
welcome. Yep.
Yeah. So
what are we going to do about this, Greta?
Well, we ain't going to get out of it alive. None of us are, but we might as well enjoy every moment that we got with less stress and more joy.
That's right. That's right. My goal is to retire in 6 years. I'm considering Mexico. Yay. High vibe. Yes, we love Mexico. That is our plan B. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you.
Hi, Michelle.
Hope everything's going okay in Colorado.
Well, she just said shooting in a Denver Post.
Oh my gosh, shootings in Denver Post, reporting on Twitter every day. Oh my gosh.
Every day.
Oh my gosh.
I get the alerts.
See? Yes, gaslighting is real. That's the one thing that I can appreciate about South Africa, right? They had the Reconciliation Commission where they all had to admit to their atrocities. Like, we did this thing. We did this thing because we just didn't like the color of their skin, and because their skin has more melanin in it, we decided y'all inferior, and this is what we gonna do, right? There's no gaslighting. But you know, the gaslighting has even Black folks thinking that they're crazy,
Yeah.
right? Hey, from Indiana, Paulette, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's all I'm saying. Like, let's just have a spade be a spade. Let's have a spade be a spade, right, Rebecca? Yes, yes, yes. Um, so microaggressions are real. Yes. I think she's responding to slave days aren't over. You know, this was the 80s, but still, or was it the 90s? No, it was the 90s. It was the 90s. It was the 90s, but still. So I'm a newbie. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Wendy is new. Yes.
Let's
So
see. Art.
if
Thanks, Art. I will get better, sir.
is
I
that
heard you were a little
our
under the
art?
weather too. That was our Art.
Hey, Art. So Arthur, I will answer your
Off.
question in a minute. Hi, Vibe is a friend of mine since 11th grade, and he. Thank you, Art. I just want to say on air has been so sweet to be our logistical manager
He's our logistical manager.
while we are like when we had to get our FBI background check, that was sent to his house. He now has our passports, visas in them that he's about to FedEx to us, and there's just no way we would have been able to do it without him. So thank you, baby. Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you, Art.
Vibe. Question: is it true that living abroad improves your health? I would think we age better just from removing the stress of American life and living life of more ease. I would say so too. And I know when we had been here for a while the last time, Rick's blood pressure came way down. My blood pressure is normally low anyway. I'm kind of fortunate that way. Um, and I'm gaining weight back, which is not a good thing. But that means I'm not stressed out and not eating, period, because my stomach is in knots, because that's what was happening before.
I think it is better for you depending on what you're doing, depending on your lifestyle. I think the food, as far as the food and stuff like that, is a lot better. I think it's a lot fresher. Your vegetables and stuff like that, less chemicals, additives and stuff like that. So it's the Mediterranean diets and everything that you're eating, the olive oils and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it is, and the less stress. Going around that you can walk the streets and don't have to worry about somebody shooting you.
Seriously, you have to
Or
go through
yeah,
2 psychological tests here and be in
yeah,
a gun club and our hunting club and all their kind of stuff,
or sending
hoops.
your kids to school and you're worrying
You don't have to
about
worry about
mass
it.
shoot. I mean, it's a shame that my parents never had to worry about a mass shooting at a school.
No.
So now, all the parents out there with school kids in elementary through high school, they have to worry about that
Yeah.
every day.
And it's crazy. That's a crazy way to live, but we have become so desensitized that this is just the norm. Like when I was a kid growing up in California, we had to drop for 2 reasons. One, because Russia, USSR might nuke us, like getting under the desk was going to help.
Yeah, that was funny.
And for earthquakes, which getting under the desk could help if things are falling from the ceiling. So those were the drills. There was no live shooter drills. Come on now, please.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sorry, I've got like a hair on my nose that just keeps tickling me and I can't get it. Or a piece of lint. I went through that with my dad. He had to give up everything for care. That's when I knew I had to plan to leave the USA, right, Greta? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And Krishan says, because a million ain't what it used to be.
No.
He could only have $50 in California. I think you can have 2,000. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. So yeah. And even Valerina, even my prescription, I'll see what it is this time, because the last time they did not have, so I'm on hormone replacement therapy, flashes. And you know, the last time I was here, they did not have the patch at that pharmacy, but she did have a pill form that my doctor in the States approved. And it was €8.50. In the States, when I tried to get extra, but not with my insurance because they wouldn't let me get, 90 days worth, they wanted to charge me somewhere, if I remember correctly, between $159 and $189, something up there for me to go, no, I don't think so. I do not think so. So yeah. Oh, there's Art. Glad you are joining us on Facebook, and it looks like LinkedIn is working as well.
Cool.
I'm learning so much about the US now, even more determined to avoid the country. Where are you, Linda? Where are you? There is a reason why folks are getting out. Hey, Dr. Phil, good
Hey,
to see
Dr.
you.
Phil.
Thank you so much for everything from the Bay Area. All right, so we got number one, peace of mind, because the culture in the United States is cray-cray. Between the racism and gaslighting, the gun culture, and the politics, it's just crazy. Number two, healthcare. We could have fixed this thing, but you know who I used to work for, and they just don't have any backbone. And I'm talking about the Democratic Party. Don't have any backbone. I have cut them off. I have unsubscribed and told them why I'm unsubscribing and ain't getting no more dimes from me, because it's like, here we go again, where you've got total control for 2 years and you don't do what you're supposed to do, because you know how the midterms are going to go, and you don't do, or you don't know, but you ain't certain, right? Like, get the stuff done. And just weak. It's like
But
all you guys do is talk. I don't
but
want to hear it.
we did vote.
Oh, we voted.
We
And
vote. We
thank
will
God
vote.
we have a great Secretary of State who makes sure that everyone who is a citizen can vote very easily. We were able to just upload our ballot. We didn't have to try to put it in FedEx or the mail or anything else. So that right there. See, and Rick watches Hulu from the States, and so he hears some of the commercials.
I haven't really watched Hulu for a while, babe. I've
It
been
has been a
watching
minute.
Netflix.
It has been a minute.
Yep,
Maybe we need to
watching
cancel it.
Netflix. No, because I watch it on my laptop or something. If I do watch it, because I can get it.
Yeah, because they're not playing with that. You have to have your VPN on. Hey, Nubianet, good to see you. All right. Just joining the live. Hey, Phyllis, good to see you. Good to see you this earlier today on, COVID. So, Art, shut the hell up. Logistical manager, baby. Logistical manager. So, all right. Number one, peace of mind. Number two, healthcare. Number three,
Cost of living.
cost of living. Now, one thing that I noticed, and you guys, if you're looking to move to Portugal and you're choosing Lisbon as the start, you know that the rents here for foreigners, because we pay a foreign tax, or apartments that remind us more of home, are going to cost you. They're going to cost you, and the rents are at least equivalent to what Denver was, I would say, in 2018, 2019, something like that, but can get as high as Denver depending upon the neighborhood that you want to live in. However, and the reason why I bring this up is because I remember when I found Our Rich Journey for the first time, and they were paying a lot for rent, in my opinion. This was back in 2019, 2020, and they were paying $2,500 a month for rent. And I was like, that don't seem cheap to me. And they had paid a whole year because they negotiated this person down from whatever it was before. So I think they had 4 bedrooms or 3 plus an office, but still, that was a lot of money. And yet they were living off of $40,000 a year And that was with there are two girls in private school. So I've just got these little lint things everywhere, I guess. I don't know. That's with two girls in private school and gym membership or swim club membership, et cetera, going out to eat, et cetera, $40,000 a year. So that was telling. And so even though the rents here can be high, although you can find a deal, a friend of ours just found an unfurnished apartment, 2 bedrooms for 600 euro per month. So there are still deals to be
Oh yeah,
had.
we're there.
Yeah, it just depends on where you want to be in relationship to the tourist area. So cost of living. What else do you want to say about the cost of living here, sweetheart?
It's manageable. Very, very. It'll never be as high as it is in the United States, I don't think. So that's a plus. Uh, Very manageable. Once you know what you want to do and how much money you want to spend, and get the things that you need. You don't need all the American stuff. You just don't.
Yeah, and there's not enough room for all of that stuff.
There's definitely not enough room for it. And if you do get an apartment that you don't have an elevator in, you don't want to be carrying all that stuff upstairs.
Yeah, and the cute apartments, the ones that we've seen in the pictures with the tile and all of that, tend not to have elevators because you'd have to retrofit it some way, and somebody's given up some square footage. I just don't see how they could do it. But the cost of living, when we got back to Denver, the cost of living in the United States right now is out of control. It's out of control. Let's see, we left there at the beginning of May and then got back in August. And the price jump just for food, gas, I expected. It goes up and down, up and down. So gas is what it is, depends on war, depends on a lot of stuff. But food, the cost of food in those 3 months had skyrocketed. Even at Costco, I noticed that like my bag of chicken that I'd always get that was like $11.99 is now $15.99 and stuff like that. I mean, I was like, we got to get out of here. And the other thing is there are not a lot of places west of the Mississippi where you can live and not need a car.
Yeah.
And that's by design, right? And so car means car insurance. So now if you got car payment, you got your car insurance, that's expensive. And the public transportation is expensive. The food is expensive. Keeping up with the Joneses is expensive. Shoes are expensive. I haven't really checked out the clothing here, but the shoes are usually priced in the window here.
Shoes aren't expensive here.
They're not expensive here.
No.
Right? So yeah, cost of living in the United States is just, Renaissance woman says, I'm looking to remove the stress. I became ill at work and my manager encouraged me to power through.
Yeah.
I never felt so much like a slave in my life, right? Power through. Oh, you're a strong woman, right? You can do this.
You're a great team member.
Yeah. We're all family around here. No, we're not. No, we're not. I've heard these babies have shooting drills at some school, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. And the one thing, tornado drills, right? Tornado drills, earthquake drills, acts of God, but right? But not acts of man. I'm ready to have a community of like-minded individuals. USA Americans remind me of the Texas slaves who, after being informed of emancipation, were fearful and or complacent with being slaves.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I feel shackled here. I've realized I'm free. I resigned from corporate America in April 2022. Yes. One of my cohort mates from this class that I took with Stephanie Perry, she has said you can cope or you can heal, but you cannot do both at the same time. I think that in America, I was just coping. I certainly was not healing. And I don't know how you can heal when it's on a daily basis, when what is making you sick happens on a daily basis, right? Hey, BP, good to see you. Louisiana voted to against removing slavery from the book.
You know, how do you vote against something like that? You know, when do they
And
change? What's the amendment that they have to? It might not be an amendment, but they go through it every so many years to allow Black people to have the right to vote.
yes, no, it's not an amendment, because if it were an amendment,
It
then it
needs
would
to be
be the
amended.
Constitution,
Yeah,
and we wouldn't have to keep voting for it. So
it's
it
like,
is
why are
just
we still
a law,
voting on that?
right? It is just a law, and all laws, y'all, sunset. They have a sunset, all right? And at that sunset, um, you either let say it's no longer relevant and we don't need it anymore, or you amend that law, or you just re-vote it in. And the law that gives us the right to vote, not just gives us the right to vote, the Constitution supposedly gives us the right to vote, but protects our right to vote so that they are not making us count jelly beans again. But they're just doing it in other ways, right? That is what has to be re-voted on every 25 years.
I guess
So
that's why I feel, and I try to tell people, you guys, family, if you don't have your passport, get your passport and
now,
have some choices. Have some choices. We chose Portugal and we chose Mexico, but we have choices
yeah,
because we want to be able to go and do what we want to do
yeah,
and not have to be rushing back to the US to because we have to be there. No,
yeah,
it's give
yeah.
yourself some choices,
Or
peace
they
of
shut
mind.
stuff down because there's another pandemic, and now
Yeah.
you've got to go back to the country of your birth. An ex-mayor of a small town in New Jersey cut down on bad cops by giving psych tests and lie detector tests prior to hiring. It weeded out so many sadistic popos. See?
Hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. And I really, so when I was working in politics, I told our mayor that every single officer needs to have mandatory therapy because they are dealing with the worst of the worst every day. They're dealing with good people who are having their worst day, right? Or they're dealing with folks with mental illness and other stuff, or they're dealing with just bad people, all of the above. And who can do that every single day and not need therapy?
Yeah.
Retired June 22, and this is the best life ever. Retirement isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? It really truly is. Hey, Latanya Taylor,
Hey,
good to see you.
Latanya.
Good to see you. Gang stalking. Uh-oh, all caps. There's a Stasi program going on in the USA and other countries. It's the NWO. Not sure what that means. And are you excited or are you yelling? Question: do you watch Roland Martin Unfiltered? I know Rick does. It pops up on our feed. No lies told. I've been a lifelong Dem and worked in politics for 10 years. When I moved to Florida in February, I'm registering as an independent. I'm over it. The only thing, Krishan, that if you did that in Colorado, you'd get everybody's mail. Everybody would be both sides. Everybody be sending you their mailers, and
Seems like we get that anyway.
so no, we don't. We don't. Believe it or not, we don't. So we have peace of mind, healthcare, cost of living as the top 3 reasons why we're leaving the United States. What's number 4?
Extreme consumerism. He who dies with the most wins.
Yeah, right. I'm sure y'all have heard that before. And if you've got a question, put a Q in front of it. That helps us. Let me put that up here because I'm trying to go through and see about the questions. But I know some of you, hey, Rui, I saw you in the chat. Okay, there we are. So extreme consumerism. I think I noticed it the first time when we went to South Africa and we were there for a month. And a lot of their television is in English, as well as their commercials. And So we watched some cable. I mean, the bed and breakfast we stayed in had cable. But when we came back, it felt like I was in a sci-fi movie. And it was just this barrage of commercials like everywhere, overstimulation of commercials. And then the other thing that is so disgusting that I don't see as much in the commercials here is that they're not really selling the product. They're selling an image that we're supposed to live up to. If you want the girl, you have to buy Axe, body wash, right? Or you have to have, or if you are of a certain status, you have to have this car that, McConaughey is now, out there pitching or whatever. Or you have to get the cologne that, some other celebrity is now hawking. Between that and then the pharma commercials. There are no pharma commercials here in Portugal. But, if you've got this, if you've got that, everybody's self-diagnosing. If you got this and if you got that, then you should take this drug. But it could cause suicide and cancer and, extreme nosebleeds or whatever.
Yeah. If you ain't got it, you will get it if you take this drug.
Right? I'm telling you. And that consumerism, that extreme consumerism is a sickness. It really is. Like, how many people do we know? Like, I can name right now 2 people that I know that got into real serious financial trouble with QVC type shopping. Like, it was QVC back in the day. And I think that's still, Home Shopping Network is still probably on the air. And then doing it on your phone, whether it's, every day you got to see what Amazon has or whatever. And the fact that you can just get it delivered and just do it in your pajamas. I think that was the selling point for Home Shopping Network and QVC. And it has just gone over into online shopping. And it's a bombardment. And the media feeds this notion that we need to have lots of stuff. And that if your iPhone or your Android or whatever is not the latest, then you're not cool, right? You're not cool like the young people who are in this commercial, skateboarding around, dancing to their music, whatever the heck they're doing. Am I lying?
No.
Am I lying?
No,
they haven't told me one benefit for buying their crap. Barely told me some features for buying their crap. And yet. So, Wendy, we are renting and we're looking for someone to talk about investing in real estate in Portugal. So we're on the hunt for that. But I do not suggest, okay, so the Golden Visa looks like it's going away. But even if it weren't, I do not suggest that anyone just buy here without living here for a minute. You really do need to understand the market, what you want, how the housing is different, how the laws are different, etc. Just rent. My wife retires from the federal government in 4 years and we're looking at Portugal. I still have a few years after, but we can't wait. We are doing a scouting trip to Portugal next summer. Yay.
Cool.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm wondering if your wife can take her federal job to like Spain. Because I know there's federal jobs in Spain. Now, whether any are available right now in her field is a different story. Okay. So I'm looking at the chat. It took a lot of effort for me to vote. You see, we just had to upload it. Hubby and I came to the conclusion that we might have to spend just as much or rent there as as we spent on a mortgage in the US. That's okay. We are leaving for safety, peace, and relaxation. Yes. And everything else, if you live in a place that you don't need a car, if you live on the Silver Coast, you'll need a car, but housing will be a lot less. If you live in the city, you won't need a car, but housing will be a little bit more. And depending upon where you're coming from, it's different if you had a mortgage, because if you bought your house 20 years ago and you never refied and took money out of it or anything, you probably have a really low payment, right? But if you were to buy somewhere in the last couple of years in most of the major cities, it's probably pretty equivalent to that. So the cost of living in upstate New York is really bad. See, I always thought upstate was better.
Not always.
So obviously not. Okay, so Linda's in the UK. We're just trying to say America is not all of that. And it just cracks me up when I see Portuguese in our chat talking about, it's not like that. Oh, please give me a break. Like, no, you give me a break.
Go live there, you find out.
Yep. So Anita, and you were at Cortez English, and still you got a good price, and that's an expensive store. So I really don't buy anything there unless that's the only place to get it. They definitely cater to tourists, and so.
Yes,
Guys,
yes.
if you are still judging your life by comparing yourself to other folks, you don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. You do not have to do that. Everyone has their own journey. And if you do not value having a lot of stuff, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, don't get caught up in that. Don't, and some people do it and don't realize that they're caught up in it.
It's very easy. I mean, we were.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I had to stop and say, okay, we're on a mission. Here's our financial goals, that I had to start really looking at my spending, which reminds me. So I spent $90 on incidentals at the grocery store last week. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. I don't think the only time we spent $90 is when we were buying, or that much is when we were buying a comfort. We were at Continent, right? Comforter and hangers and, stuff for the house that we didn't want to ship. So I'm going to throw up, y'all. We have a few spaces left. In 2 weeks, we're going to be starting our Get Your Money Straight 1 week challenge. Group coaching. It is for folks from the diaspora, because we do talk about some money mindset makeover stuff that is unique to folks who are from the African diaspora. We have some isms, and we have to create this safe space so we can talk about it without having to explain. So if you are, and if you would like to take it, we still have about 10 slots left. I think we're at 41 folks right now, and we have 50 slots. Oh, we have less than that, because I gave away the scholarships that we had. So all you guys know that super chat money, super thanks money, and all of that went into a scholarship fund. And I have not given everybody an answer yet. So if you haven't heard from me, don't think that means no. It's just I haven't gotten to it, because I get really tired in the evening these days. My body is trying to fight this COVID, even though I've been tested negative. Do you have any recommendations for expats looking for tech jobs living in Portugal? I would not suggest that anybody come to Portugal looking for a job, for several reasons. One reason is the folks who are Portuguese really need those jobs, and they do not make a good living wage per se. Like minimum wage, I should say, is really low here. So that is that. Secondly, maybe there's an opportunity if there is an American international company that happens to that will let you work remotely in the EU. That could be an option for you. And Libria Jones, as y'all know, is the remote worker queen. So check her out. Okay. Consumerism is another silent killer. It really is. It really, really is. Do you have any recommendations for expats? Oh yeah, okay, just saw that one. Uh, uh, um, but yet when we die, regardless of wealth, we all take up the same space. I ain't taking up no space, Krishan, because you're gonna burn me and sprinkle me over something, a scar, a slope, a wave, something. I don't know. Look up targeted individuals gain stalking in America. The Constitution has been eradicated. Yeah, yeah, or it's just not being followed, right? So, all right. So we've got peace of mind, the culture, the crazy culture in the United States. We needed peace of mind, the number one reason we had to leave. Then healthcare, cost of living, extreme consumerism, and then the last reason why we left the United States. And then we would like to hear from you. Why do you want to leave? If you are one of the folks watching and you watch us because you want to do like we do, I want to know in the chat why you want to leave. So the last one is
New adventures.
yes. So this may seem like not an important thing, but I remember, when we were back in August and a friend of ours said, "Is this all there is?" And, money wise, he's fine, but is this all there is? And the route, I know if we stayed in the United States, I would still be going to those doggone galas and all of that other crap. Ugh, ugh, and having to be around people that I just don't want to be around. Half the folks who showed up there is like, oh God, do I have to say hello to that person? And then there's like a little group of people that I was happy to see, and then it was the rest of them. So no, no. Doing the same old thing ain't the move. The other thing, sweetheart, especially from dealing with my dad and listening to what the doctor said to him and to me was learn new things, continue to learn new things. And Rui says, what is a pharma commercial? We'll tell you in a second. And so learning Portuguese while learning Spanish, while figuring out how to work the stove and the washer and dryer and no dryer and the dishwasher,
Yeah.
creating new synapses. I want to live until I die, folks. I
Yeah.
don't want to, suffer from senility, dementia, Alzheimer's, none of that stuff. None of that stuff.
And you meet new people and see
Yes.
new things. I mean, Rui, who you just commented about, took us on a great adventure and took us to the opera house. And he gave us the royal
Behind
tour, the
the scenes.
royal tour, and it was beautiful. We got a lot of footage of it, and
Hmm.
we thank you so much, Rui, for doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
he really took time out of his day, and we walked through it. And then offered for us tickets to go to an opera because they were having an opera that day, and we couldn't do it. My wife had to get her hair cut, and we made it on time. So we had to catch the train for her to get her haircut, but we had a great time, and it was a beautiful, beautiful place, very
Yes.
beautiful. And we thank
Yes.
you, Rui. Thank you so much.
Yes, definitely. And so, what is a pharma commercial for all of you who are not American? I don't think they do this in Canada, and I did not see them in Mexico. Did we see?
No, they don't have
No,
the farmer commercials like we have, the heavy
no.
duty farmer commercials.
So, pharma commercials is pharmacy, pharmacia, right? So, the pharmaceutical companies that create the medications have decided that we need to be educated on their brand of medication, which, of course, none of us are well, most of us are not pharmacists, nor doctors, nor nurses. And so, the notion that you are going to advertise directly to me about serious drugs, like drugs that handle psychosis and bipolar disorder. They are advertising on regular television. Like if I have bipolar disorder, I probably should not be prescribing myself anything.
Well, in all fairness, they do say, ask your doctor.
Yeah. And then they have 30 seconds that they read really, really fast of all the side effects, because I guess by law, they have to tell us what
They
the
have
side
to,
effects
yeah,
are,
they have to tell you.
and it's a lot, you know. Now take this and you'll feel better. That is, if you don't get the nosebleeds and it doesn't give you colon cancer and you don't have suicidal thoughts.
And you
But if
don't
you
have an
do have
arm.
suicidal thoughts, tell
You
your
do,
doctor.
then you don't have an arm growing out of your ear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. So I see folks in the chat answering you. Um,
But
so,
also new
somebody must
adventures.
be going for it. Otherwise, right?
A,
You wouldn't
a
want
lot of the new adventures too are in proximity to the rest of Europe where we are. To see Paris, to go back to Italy and see all the different places in Italy that we can go to, we're pretty much off the coast of Africa, quick flight to Africa. Uh, Spain is right next door. All you got to do is drive or catch a train or a
to.
plane,
Which
whichever.
leads us to why Portugal.
Yeah.
So we talked about the 5 major reasons why we're leaving, why the United States just does not work for us. We cannot anticipate living there again. Never say never. So that's why I say we don't anticipate ever living there again. Peace of mind from that crazy, crazy American culture. The healthcare system, which wants you broke, and is a privilege, not a right. I don't care what the other side says. That's not true. The cost of living has been out of control for a long, long time. And I think 2 things: access to credit and the notion that you have to have a 2-income household has made it worse. The extreme consumerism, that keeping up with the Joneses mentality that you're bombarded with all the time, and goes hand in hand with expectations, your societal expectations, and having all of that stuff somehow elevates you in the mind of society, right? But being broke doesn't. And the new adventure. What were you going to say, sweetie?
No, I was just saying all the different new adventures that we plan on taking here.
Yes, 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 yes. So before we move on to the top reasons why we chose Portugal over any other country, we've been living consumer debt free for about 5 years now, living off of less than we earn, and stop trying to keep what the broke behind Joneses. That was a game changer, right? A game changer. I paused my Amazon account to gradually get rid of it. Not sure if I can use my Alexa in Portugal anyway.
Alexa?
I think they have Alexa here. Now, do they have a different Alexa? Maybe not. So I would check, Auntie Trey. I
You
would
could
check.
probably use it and teach it how to speak Portuguese.
So we have Google Fi. There's a link to it in the description, where we can keep our US phone numbers, because let me tell you, Gloria Benson was not trying to learn a new phone number, and she wasn't going to call international anyway. So she still calls my Denver phone number, and it rings here. I just have it on Wi-Fi calling. So if we're away from the house, I could answer, but then I'd have to be charged, and I don't want to. So Google Fi really does not want you having it out of the country. So how we get around that is that we only do Wi-Fi calling and only access the stuff that comes through the Google Fi phone number when we're on Wi-Fi. To the point where I think we didn't even use but a few megabytes of data on our last bill.
Yeah, it
So
was very low.
very low,
Very
very,
low.
very low. And so I'm assuming that because we're not really using it, that they're going to let us, ride. So we have, most modern phones now are dual SIM. You can put 2 SIM cards, or you have an electronic SIM and then a physical SIM. So the physical SIM is what has our Portugal number in it. And then if we decide to spend any amount of time in another country. I think our carrier, our Portugal carrier, will it go all over the EU, but I don't know about roaming, so we'll check that out before we go. But yeah, and we pay about $30 a month for both phones.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for both phones, $30 a month. I want to say it's less. I want to say it's 20, but I don't know if there was a discount because we started in the middle for this last payment. So I don't know. So the number one reason why we chose Portugal, which you kind of have already alluded to, sweetheart.
Yep. Access to other countries you want to travel to.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's why when suggesting where people live, you really have to take into account, what do you want your life to look like? And for us, there's a whole part of the world that we want to see. And that means where we are in Portugal gives us easy access, as Rick said, to the rest of the continent of Europe, easier access to Asia than being in Denver, right? And easy access to at least North and Northwest and Northeast Africa, the north part of the continent, because it's a huge continent.
Huge.
Huge. Even easier access to South Africa, right? Where I have family, from here than from Denver.
Yeah.
So, right? BP asks, I'm working on visa for Ecuador. Your luggage shipping company does not go to South America. Anyone know of a shipping company that does? Oh, interesting. So we used Send My Bags, and there should be a link in the description. I am surprised that they don't go to, well, not really. It's a British company. It's a British company. So that's probably why. I would Google Send My Bags for the Americas, right? See, Rui says El Cortez is not cheap. No, it is not. No, it is not. And I avoid, it's a pretty store.
It's
And you
beautiful.
want to feel like you're in America, go into El Cortez Inglés. But
Yeah, it's a mall. It's a mall. It's not a store.
it is like a mall. It is. T. Phillips says maturity means you live within your financial means. We haven't been mature for most of our life, sweetheart.
It's hard to be.
I've been here in Portugal for a month with 2 carry-ons only. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I've joined the challenge too. Oh, yay. Good, 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 good. My friend and I will be apart. Let's see. BP, check out African Americans in Ecuador. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, put a Q in front of your questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through every single one of these comments. So our number one reason for choosing Portugal, shut up, Art.
Leave all alone. I got your back, bro.
Because he's always talking smack. That's what he's doing.
Well, that's art do.
That's what he does. Access to other countries is our number one reason. Justine says, I want to leave because I've come to the sad but real realization that I will never have the quality of life I want in the US. Peace is at the top of that list and is non-negotiable. I heard that. I heard that. And if I were honest with you and myself, and I did not realize this until the 2008 election, y'all, I'm not sure that I've ever really felt like I was American, because I never really had all of the rights that white Americans have. I mean, I do on paper, right? But in reality, as it plays out, nah, I've never had them. And so, although, I appreciate my home country or birth country for what it has given me as far as my tenacity and all of that, I don't know. I don't know. I want to live somewhere beautiful in a different culture in peace. Yes. If you could just leave me alone, right? Peace. Just leave me alone. But no, they have to, some folks in the majority in the United States think it is their job, their duty to police us, no matter what we're doing. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of watching one video where some Karen or Becky was doing what Karen and Becky do, right? And so now YouTube is just feeding me, and I'm like, no, I know I don't want to see this, but it's addicting. Peace of mind for me and my family, getting the health care we deserve and getting to do some adventures, right, Ayana? Yes, 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 yes. Question: is it complicated to get a retirement visa in Portugal? Okay. That's on our list, actually. So, no, not in comparison to the United States, certainly, and to a lot of other countries. No, it is not complicated. It's a little tedious, but it's not complicated. Racism and microaggressions, healthier food without chemicals. Hello. So here, I should have brought it back in. Here in Portugal, the unhealthy processed food has a scale of A to, I think,
D.
D. Is it D?
It might
A
be
to D,
E. A, B,
or
C, D, E.
E. I think, or maybe E. A being the healthiest, and then E being the least healthy or unhealthy. Um, and so, yeah, it's right there on the front of the label. And, you're going to buy what you're going to buy anyway, but at least you don't have to do it in ignorance. Healthier food without chemicals, walkable cities, less violence, and opportunity to heal from from trauma and rest. I plan to leave in 2025. I hear you. Our plan was to leave in 2025. My hubby and I are leaving for all the reasons that you left for. I'm over it, right? Oh, and better healthcare. So, yes, 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 yes. I cannot only exist here in the States. Living in its greatest sense is a normal part of life outside of the States. Yeah. So we live across the street from a park. And and I think I posted this on our IG. I love seeing the kids in the park. I love seeing folks just hanging out, that are not pedophiles, right? Yes, adults hang out in parks. And one of the other parks down the street, they're always playing, the older men are playing some card game. I don't know. And I know it gets serious, like they're playing Bones. It gets serious. We were over there the other day and a little argument broke out, and it was like, okay, people are people no matter where you go. I'm leaving for peace of mind. The world is larger than the US. I've always wanted to leave here. I don't want to work until I die. That right there. That right there, right? And it's amazing to me that we have been fed the lie that, and for some have to keep working because, they did not know how to plan, and Social Security ain't gonna make it. So yes, the Opera House was wonderful. All right.
Yes.
So the number one reason for Portugal was access to other countries we want to visit. Number two, cost of living, which we've kind of already been talking about when we were talking about cost of living for leaving. However, we could have chose other places in Europe to move to. We could have chosen less expensive places, definitely, but definitely and very easily chosen more expensive places. But
Right.
why? And those places don't have the sunshine,
Nope.
right? Those places don't have the sunshine. So cost of living, as we said before, the metro here, if you get a district wide, or I'm going to say metropolitan area metro. And the reason why I say that is because it does include another district, which is not the Lisbon district. 40 euro, y'all, 40 euro. Now, I don't know about you, but I know in Denver for their sorry public transportation system, it was $180 a month, something like that. 40 euro per month.
Yeah.
Right. And that includes like 5 or 6 types of transportation, the trolleys, the tram, the buses,
The boat,
the ferry,
the ferries.
right? Heavy rail and light rail. So, like we can get from here to Sintra, that's Sintra, where all the castles are, using our Metro card, right? The food, we've talked about this. We did a video about grocery shopping here in Portugal when we were here back in June. And I have certain things that I always buy. And so I know the price of it in the States, both in LA and in Colorado, in Denver, Colorado. And I know the price of it here. Rick never pays attention to prices, but I do.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, he is. That because he's spoiled. He's spoiled, and it's my fault. So natural peanut butter is a staple here in that I've only once seen Skippy. I don't see it at the grocery stores where we live. I never
No.
see Skippy. And that's not real peanut butter, right? It's got corn syrup in it or sugar in it and everything else. But I'm talking about peanuts and salt or just peanuts, that kind of peanut butter. The Pingo Dos is my favorite of the chains because I like their brand of stuff better than I like Continent's brand of stuff, better than I like Auchan's stuff. And then Little, I don't know what their brand is. And Aldi sells Trader Joe's. So there you go. But Pingo Dos, their peanut butter is just peanuts and salt, or you can get it peanuts without salt, and you can get it chunky or not. And it's €1.99 or €1.89, depending upon the Pingo Dos you go to. I never saw a jar this size any less than $4.99 at Kroger. I'm just saying, right? So cost of living, definitely. Now, I don't want to paint it. Go ahead, sweetheart.
No, go on.
I was just
I'm adjusting because my
okay.
back is kind of
starting to hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to paint it all roses. In my opinion, compared to the price of food. And oh, by the way, there are no food deserts here.
no.
Because most people do not have cars. I'm assuming most people don't have cars or they leave them parked somewhere. There is a little tienda, little mini mercado, usually family owned, every 10 doors. Literally. When we were living on the other side of the river in Casillas, in Almada, there was one every other block. Here where we live in the city of Lisbon, we could buy fresh fruits and vegetables within a 5-minute walk at probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stores, not including the chain store, which is also less than a 5-minute walk. We didn't put walkability. Maybe because most European cities are pretty walkable.
They're pretty walkable.
Maybe that's why we didn't put that. So access to the other countries we want to visit is the number one reason. Number 2 is cost of living. Number 3,
safety.
So Portugal is one of the safest countries in the world. And we ain't even got to talk about the United States. How it is even on the list as far as safety is beyond me. Because even though, maybe the chances of getting shot in a mass shooting are less than winning lotto, it doesn't feel that way. And as a Black person, getting shot from a cop is definitely easier than winning the lotto. And it feels that way, right? So, so the safety is huge. And I go to the chain grocery store, which I said is less than a 5-minute walk, after dark by myself a couple times a week, sweetheart, when I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I used to always say, "You want me to go with you?" Now it's like, she's good. She's good. I'm not
I,
worried, not concerned.
yeah, first of all, a lot of the restaurants have outdoor seating. So there's all of that I have to pass by to get to the store, as well as the Jehovah Witness place. And then the tiendas typically are still open at least until 7:30ish when people, start coming back out after coming home from work. So there's that. And there's a lot of foot traffic, and the kids from high school are still out there playing and hanging out. I never feel threatened. I don't have to pass through dark alleys by myself or anything. I am on one of the main boulevards once I get over there. So I guess that's why. And so Arnold asks, hi guys, do you still love Lisbon, or is the honeymoon over? We still love Lisbon. We still love Lisbon. And so when we're talking about some of this stuff, we are really talking about Lisbon because this is where we live. But some of this stuff, applies to Portugal in general. So number 4.
Ease of getting citizenship and the speed of the visa process, which
Yeah.
hasn't been too speedy lately
But
because
it's
it was
all
so
relative.
backed up.
Yeah, they are really backed up.
And
But it's all relative.
and it depends on where you go to also. But I've been hearing Washington, Boston, and other places like that have been backed up. Not as bad as San Francisco.
San Francisco's out of control.
Yeah.
Out of control, but they only have one person. And so I think that's one of the reasons why they make it harder in San Francisco. But for the person who asked about the visa process, we did do a video on that. And yeah, just go to the channel. You'll find it. It's getting residency in 2 countries at the same time, because that's what we did. So the visa process for the retirement visa, the D7 visa, it's pretty cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. And if you can pass an FBI background check, if you can prove that you have at least the equivalent of their minimum wage coming in every month, and or enough of that to last you for 2 years in the bank, or between the bank and your 401k and retire, between all of your accounts, you've got that money. You pretty much qualify. Now, the extra oomph will be if you've come here to visit, they like that. You do have to have your tax ID number and your bank account ahead of time if you're out of San Francisco. You do have to have some private health insurance until you get your green card and become an official resident. That's basically it. The 1-year
Mm-hmm.
lease, right? The apartment, you have to have accommodations, health, bank account with 3 months or so living expenses in it, in a Portuguese bank account, and your tax ID number. And if you have all of that, plus we wrote a letter saying why we love Portugal and that we already have friends, approved. And it was as simple as that, approved. But the best thing is with Portugal, unlike some of the other countries. So when you get your residency, your temporary residency, because it doesn't have a instant permanent one like Mexico does. Like Mexico, if you're a pensioner, boom, automatic permanent residency, which we love, right? But here it's not. It's temporary for 2 years, then you renew for 3 years. At the end of 3 years, you choose to be permanent or you can choose to be a citizen. Rick and I are on the citizenship path. We want a second passport and we want access to the EU. And so why not then from what we consider the California of Europe, and only the good parts of California, the weather,
Right.
the pretty vistas and all of that, not the craziness part of California. So yeah, the ease of getting visa and citizenship. It's hard to get citizenship in Mexico. Spain, I think it's 10 years, although their visa process is just a bit harder than here. And when I say harder, just a couple of more hoops, that's all. Not necessarily a higher financial burden. But the citizenship piece is not as easy an option for most other countries. And so all that they ask is that you're here for 5 years, that you live here the majority of the time for those 5 years, which means, 181 days per year. And that you either one, sign up for their free language course that the government offers, probably through high schools. I don't know, because we haven't looked into it yet. We're
Supposed
taking
to be
private lessons.
very
Yeah,
intensive course,
it's an
like every
intense
day.
every day. Yeah, so you have to commit, but then you don't have to take a language test at the end. And I don't know about y'all, but I have that overachiever's problem, and I get nervous on tests. So, Arnold Santos, yes, we do still love Lisbon. Krishan asks, wondering if you need to push my D7, if I need to push my D7 in a few months, since my bank accounts would show W-2 income, not passive income. Any thoughts? I'm trying to remember how old you are, Krishan. So your W-2 income, is it your own W-2, like your own company, or is it some other company? And then check to see, because we've been hearing, this is why she's asking, during the pandemic, any remote worker could get a D7 visa. Now they are changing that a bit.
They're changing that to the digital visa, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, but and the threshold is higher. So I don't like. Are you planning to come here and be a remote worker? Because if you are, then I would say yes. But if you aren't, you don't already have to show the passive income. You just have to show that you've got the money. So if you've got 2 years worth of money in your bank, that you would say, I'm going to live off of this money for my temporary residency for the next 2 years. I'm going to live off of this money, whether you do or don't. It seems to me that that should be enough. If you're using Gail, I would definitely ask her as well. So Gail at Relocate to Portugal is who we are using to do the process. Latanya, I want a new change of pace. I seek after Pete, right? I don't want to spend my waking hours thinking about how, when, why I live in expectations of what God is going to do next. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the how, when, like, how am I going to get through this day? Why do I have to keep going through these jobs? How am I going to deal with these folks? I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's why they hawk what they hawk, right? And you have to, you can't use the generic, you have to use the name brand and stuff like that. So let's see. C. Blake asks, I just renewed my 3 years temporary residency in Mexico. Can I get second residency D7 Portugal visa? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have both Mexican residency and Portuguese residency, and we got our Portuguese residency after we got our residency in Mexico. The only thing is, so if you just got 3 years, then you don't have to go back to renew it for a while. So go for it. Go for it. Now, unlike Mexico, though, you do have to be here, like I said, at least 181 days per year. So yeah. High vibe. America has a chronic illness problem. That's where drug dealers make their money. Yes, people are in a perpetual state of wanting to remove this illness or manage it better. Well, and the thing about it is, it seems to me that we stopped curing stuff. I mean, I guess one could say we cured COVID in that we came up with a vaccination. But heck, when's the last time we've cured something? For real, though. Yeah, so I don't know, Auntie Trey. If someone can help her out, because I do not know. We are Mac users here. I need to live somewhere that I can afford a comfortable life with good food, healthcare I can afford, and to be a world explorer. Yes, yes. And so the Susie Orman notion that you have to have 25 times your current income or 10 times your current income is nonsense. It's just nonsense unless you want to live large. No, I tested negative. I
I
tested
didn't.
negative, but I think my body is trying to fight it because I can kind of feel it, but I'm still testing negative. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Greta says her reasons for leaving the USA: 1, healthcare; 2, safety; 3, travel; 4, like-minded people; 5, better quality of life and cost of living. Yes, yes, and yes. And the like-minded people, y'all, we have just met the coolest people out here in these streets. When you guys come to town and we meet with you, hey, um, and the people who are already here, I mean, just cool people. I want to know where were y'all when we were in the States, right? Valerina asked, now that you are all somewhat settled in, have you noticed how much you are now saving monthly? Not quite yet, because we're still replacing stuff in the house. That's the only thing. Like, I still need a comforter for the guest bedroom, so we've got to buy that. I did bring sheets with me, so we're fine with that. We're still a couple of pillows short, because Rick and I sleep with a lot of pillows. And then if we are sleeping with all the pillows, there's no pillows in the guest room. And so right now, like, I snatched my pillows. Once I figured out he was sick, I snatched my pillows out the room.
That's where they went. I was like, there's more pillows in there.
No, no, I'm not leaving my pillows in there for you to breathe Rona all over them. When did you start feeling like a resident?
When did I? Are you just reading the question?
Yeah, I'm reading the
Um,
question. You want to answer?
I started feeling like a resident when we came back. Excuse me.
That cough.
I felt like a resident when we landed back in Portugal from coming back from the United States. Even though we were still waiting for our visas to get approved, you know, I felt like, okay, this is going to happen. It took longer than I thought, but, we just immersed ourselves and we just started doing everything. And people talking to you like you're Portuguese and you don't understand a word they're saying, or,
I understand
different
a couple of
things.
things now.
Talking to our landlord across the hall. We did something, and we overtook the system here.
Yeah,
We tripped the
trips.
switch,
Yeah, on the electrical panel.
and to see her joy when we figured it out, and she's like, she was the hero.
Yeah, she was doing she was doing the happy dance. Hey, I helped fix something. And you don't need to understand what a person's saying
No,
when because there is universal languages stuff, right? But then her daughter came home who speaks some English, and but heck, we had it figured out by that time. We were just starting to chat at that point, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, and the people make you feel comfortable. Meeting Rui, who's in the chat, who is
Yeah,
one of the subscribers, people
yeah.
like that. Oh my God, he makes you feel like you're,
At
a
home.
resident. You're at home.
I have to say, you're probably the same, but I think within the first week that we were here back in June, I was like, okay, this could be home. This could be home. And for all of the Portuguese people who are going to watch, don't get in the chat saying I'm crazy. And how come you didn't know that? Because we don't learn a lot about current affairs outside of America in America, and we don't learn other people's history for the most part, or it's tainted. So I think when we went to the restaurant that very first week and the man spoke to us in Portuguese, not because he didn't know English, like in Mexico, when we get spoken to in Spanish, it's not because they don't know we're not American. They just hope we can speak Spanish because they cannot speak English, right? But here, sometimes it's that too. But more often than not, they just assume we're Portuguese. And so I did not realize how many people who look like me lived here. And so no weird stares, no, what are they doing around here? Oh, they're here. Oh, no, nothing. And it just felt like home. It
Yeah.
felt like home. So is your lifestyle considered high end compared to the Portugal middle or upper class people? No, no, and no, not at all, because our neighbors own our apartment. So they can live here, and I don't know. I've read that this is a middle to upper middle class neighborhood. But it is a very diverse neighborhood. And I hear a lot of languages, mostly Portuguese, of course, but I also hear some East Indian, or East Asian, I should say,
Hmm.
languages, and Asian languages. And what else have I heard? What else have we heard? I don't know, but it's pretty international as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, I don't think so. So we'll continue to go through these, but let's get back to our list. So we've got access to other countries, cost of living, safety, the ease of getting the visa, and citizenship. Number 5, we've kind of already talked about this,
Healthcare system.
the healthcare system. And so for all of you, about 3 weeks ago or so, we did interview 3 American ladies who accessed the healthcare system here. And all of them had some pretty serious health concerns at that moment in time when they needed to access it. So we're not talking about a cold. We're talking about some, autoimmune things and things like that they shared. And all of them had, in the end, experiences that made them happy. And I say in the end because it depends on what kind of insurance you have and what your expectations are. But there is universal health care here. The private system relies on the public system to be there and to be in effect. And so, whereas if you don't have private insurance, you might have to wait a little bit for your physical, or if you've got a cough to get seen by the doctor, whereas you won't for if you have private insurance, which for Rick and I, we're looking at somewhere between $2,000 to $2,500 per year for us at our age with pre-existing. Um, and so I think, knowing that, God forbid, something were to happen, we're not going to be out, tons and tons and tons and tons of money because we're paying taxes. So the healthcare system, and they have better outcomes than the United States. Much, 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 much better. Much better, right? So Mimi says, my husband and I are spending a couple of months in Spain and costs seem lower. Food costs definitely, and wine. I noticed that Lisbon was the least expensive European city from Charlotte. Yeah. As far as capital cities, this is still one of the least expensive. So thank you
Thank you
for
for the
the
super
super
sticker.
sticker. I don't know if there was a moving sticker thing that went along with it. We're using this third-party app, and usually it gives me an alert, but it did not this time. So I apologize. But thank you. As you all know, all super chat, all super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund, which we have given away a few scholarships already. I think we have given all of them away. I have to double check. If you haven't heard from us, doesn't mean that you're not getting one. It just means I haven't let you know yet. But in my mind, it's already gone. So you guys know that we are doing the Get Your Money Straight 1 week challenge in 2 weeks. And we already have over 40 folks signed up. It's going to be a great time every single day. We'll have group coaching every single day. You will get a new action guide that builds upon the previous day. If you are from the African diaspora and you want this money mindset makeover, then join the challenge. This is not a free challenge. We tried that already and no one showed up. So we ain't doing that again. So, all right. I'm going to get back to the chat. But so We've got two more and we want to do that. And then we'll get chat and we will wrap it up because I know Rick is going to lose steam here. So number 6.
It's already gone, baby.
Number 6.
Weather.
Yes. We're from Denver, Colorado, y'all. So it is all relative. If you are from Louisiana, New Orleans, or Houston, it might seem cold here. If Medellin was on your list, or Playa del Carmen was on your list, it might seem cold here. But even when my watch says it's like 67, 68 degrees, and I put on a jacket, by the time I walk down to the metro, I'm stripping stuff off. And it feels like 73, 74, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
in the sun, but it gets a little chilly in the shade. And so that's what it's been like for this late fall, early winter type. It's been fine. It's been in the 60s. It got a little bit warmer this weekend, but we were incubating ourselves,
Yeah,
quarantining
stuck in.
ourselves.
But
So go
I
ahead.
still have to look out and see that pretty blue sky. I look for
Yes.
that blue sky. And I don't always get it. Today it was a little cloudy, and I think it might even rained a little bit this evening, but that beautiful Portuguese sky.
Yes,
Ah,
yes, yes, yes. So thank you again. And the weather, it is actually Denver gets blue skies like that too after the wind comes through, right? And it gets the sky that's so blue it's almost purple. It's here on a regular basis when it's sunny, so blue it's almost purple. And it is, and we can see the trees from the park and then the blue sky, and it's just gorgeous. And because we're at the top of one of the 7 hills, we have 2 major lookout points where we can see all the way to the water. And it's just beautiful. From our back, we can see all the way to the water, and it is gorgeous. I feel very, very blessed to be able to live here.
yeah.
So weather, and then the last thing,
The culture,
the culture.
easygoing,
Yeah.
emphasis on living and family, not on work.
Yes, 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 yes. Um, and then I already talked about how we blend in. But what does that look like? So what that looks like to me and what I see here that I didn't see as often in the States are folks chilling. Literally, whether it is at a cafe or one of the kiosks in the park, relaxing, having their cup of coffee and just chilling. The other thing that I've noticed is that at every single park that I have seen that has a playground, it also has a cafe or a kiosk where they're serving usually beer and wine, heavy hors d'oeuvre type food, or full on sandwich and fries, hamburger and fries, and stuff like that, pizza. Sometimes things that are a little bit more delicacy than that. But at every single park that I have passed by that has a playground, it also has either a kiosk or a cafe. Like ours has a cafe right across the street, but the street is literally 4 steps. 4 steps to, it's not like a major street. It's so small that you're wondering how cars get through, especially when people are parked on one side, but they manage. It makes me
Yeah, they
nervous every
do.
time. Every time an Uber comes, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to see.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
they're
want to
parked
see.
on both sides.
Yes. And they still
They
manage
do
to
it.
get through. So that's our list, y'all. Why we chose Portugal. So you don't have to get into the comments. You folks were going to watch the replay and say, how come you did not choose the continent of Africa? Because we have already said. So access to other countries that we want to visit, cost of living, safety, ease of getting the visa and citizenship, the healthcare system, weather, and the culture. The people here, it's funny because some of them walk around it looks like with a frown on their face. But if you say good afternoon, I see a
They,
smile. Oh, Todd, right?
yeah, they will speak to you.
Listen, our government still votes for Black people to maintain the right to vote. Do they? And why do they have to? And we know that the Supreme Court decimated the Voting Rights Act. We know that they did. And straight away after that, states put in jelly bean counting laws, right? That, or they closed voting centers. So grandmama and them who used to just vote at the library down the street now have to hoof it to, to the 2 suburbs over to vote. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Organizations have to hire buses to bus people to centers. And then you got all these idiots, armed idiots, you know, what do they call themselves? Watchers. It's like, really?
The Oath Keepers.
Yeah. I mean, that's another reason I'm glad right now I'm not there, because seeing all that, it would make me want to put a gun on my side and go there and say, not what?
Well, they did the new Black Panthers did that.
I mean,
And
it's
they
crazy.
got arrested.
Yeah, that's insane. That's
It
insane
is
to
insane.
make people go through all that to work, because what? We're stealing it's like you're looking at the wrong folk.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know?
Every
Look
single
at your
time
own
somebody's
party.
cheating, it's the other side, and it's folks who don't look like you and I. And like, what is one cheating and voting for your dead mom or something? What's one vote gonna do? Give me a break. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
so
just wrong.
Marguerite says ever since January 6th, right?
Yeah, because they know they can get away with it. I mean, why ain't Orange Julius in jail? It's like, really, dude? He's one dude. Why ain't he in jail? Why is he still allowed to even think about running for the presidency again? That's
Yeah.
that's just totally stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And we had
Because
2 years to get it done. Didn't get it done.
if the tides were reversed, and it all started when they stole Barack Obama's vote to bring in
Supreme
a new
Court.
justice.
Yeah. And who was the party who didn't fight?
The Democrats. There's no way they should have been able to get away with that. But hey, they can get away with it now, so they can pretty much do anything. It's stupid.
I can't get emotionally involved in that nonsense anymore.
Yeah, I
I
just thought
didn't.
about it. It just pissed me off. But
Yeah,
I'm done
yeah.
with my
And
rant.
that's the thing. That's the thing. How do you heal if you're trying to cope? How do you heal from being an African in America? And when I say of African descent, obviously it's my ancestors that came from the continent, not me. But they will remind me on a regular basis. I had people asking me when I ran for office, where your people come from? Where your people come from? What religion are you? What's your religion? I bet your folks came here in the 1900s, because my folks been here since the 1700s. We built this stuff. And y'all acting like, miss me with that. I too have never felt like an American. I want a quality of life that is not possible in the US. Walkability, weather, peace, moderate cost of living, and non-car culture. And no culture wars, right? How did this become a political football? How did common sense, how did mediocrity become a political football, right? Like, if you don't agree with being just mediocre, which I don't think the president should ever be mediocre. I want them 10 times smarter than me to do this stuff, right? But how did mediocre become like a rallying cry? And you guys who believe in education, you're elitists. What are the privileges that you have or use as US citizens that you experience outside of the US that can't be utilized stateside? Our Americanness. That blue passport, baby. So when someone is being a butthole to me here, and it's happened a couple of times, I will go straight American. I will go straight American. I don't try to say anything in Portuguese. Because first of all, because I'm too flustered to think. And then secondly, because I want to be that person. It's like, you're not going to treat me crazy. I don't know if you're having a bad day and that sounds like a you problem. Definitely not a me problem. So we go straight American. And We are looked at here, I think, as American first, especially once we open our mouths, and not just a Black person.
Yeah.
So we're American. We're only hyphenated in the United States, right? Anyone getting temporary visa appointments with Mexico consulates saying full. No surprise, especially after the election.
Yeah, I was going to say that should have went crazy just before the election hit.
Yeah, but unlike Portugal, for Mexico, you can go anywhere, anywhere. So if you live in one of those small states back east, I would check around the neighboring states and see what they're doing. Denver, we got in like we called in January and we got our appointment for February. And so we had permanent residency as of February 2022.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure Mexico is getting bombarded
I'm sure it is because there are
because,
over a million Americans living in Mexico.
yeah, and it's in the proximity to the United States. If I get one there and I could just run across the border whenever I wanted to.
Yes.
So do it, y'all. If it ain't Portugal, make it somewhere. But be
Yes.
ready, be able to make that move.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. All of our super chat and super thanks money goes to our scholarship fund, y'all. Our scholarship fund. So thank you, the Rich Action Show. I actually checked out your channel the other day. It's good to see you in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to try to get back to these questions because we've had our list, y'all. So I put a queue in front of your questions and we're going to head out so Rick can get back in bed. Fighting this Rona and I don't want to catch it. So
it ain't no joke, y'all. If you ain't had it, you don't want it.
I mean, and that's saying something, seeing that we've had the boosters. Have you started to hear about any changes for requirements for the D7 for 2023? I have not. And I've been checking the Expat app. If you guys don't know, we had Shar on the healthcare one. Shar is the creator of XPAT app, where being from the diaspora is the default. And they are usually up on that stuff, as well as Black in Portugal Facebook group. I have not heard anything. Do they have farmers markets? Yes, they do. But you do not need to go to a farmer's market to find fresh fruits and vegetables that haven't been traveling on a truck forever and ever and ever. The Timeout Market down across the street from Cais de Sodré, the main ferry station, main train station, in the tourist area. From the morning until I think 2 p.m., they have a farmer's market.
Huge farmer's market.
Yeah. And then they have those mercados in a lot of the freguesias, and the freguesias are like a parish. So ours has one. We've yet to catch it before 2 o'clock because, we just lazing around, but it has one. and I guess we should check it out one of these days. But literally, we have huge fruit and vegetable stands where the person brings the fruits and vegetables every single morning, within walking distance. So I haven't really felt a need to try and catch it. Over there in Ororios by our butcher, I haven't felt the need to try and catch it, but I've seen them in at least 3 of the freguesias that I've been to, having their own indoor farmers market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I went to Denver for the first time in April, and the food scene was depressing, very disappointing. Yeah. It's as many people who have been imported into Denver, they don't have great restaurants, not like an LA, Chicago, or something like that.
I think they used to, though. They used to be real big on the restaurant scene. I think it just kind of went down.
It did when all of the corporate restaurants started closing out like the mom and pops and stuff. Because we used to have some good soul food restaurants and all of that. Anyone getting temporary visa? Oh, okay, we just asked that. Okay, looking for other questions. Y'all know what to do. Put a Q in front of your questions. I have to live near public transportation too. I'm putting together a series, y'all, and I've created this map of the freguesias with the metro map over it. And with that, I'm going to create a series on the different freguesias. So what you see on the metro station when you come out, what are the main visiting things and the vibe of each freguesia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is in the works. If you see anything, sweetheart, I like to build the courage to sit in a park.
Where you? I see one at the bottom.
I own a home in an up and coming area. However, I'm intimidated to walk around my community. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. When we thought Rick just had the flu, I took a walk and then got a COVID test on the way back. And I think outside of the United States, period, but definitely in Mexico and definitely here in Portugal, public spaces are meant to be used. And so there is a courtyard around the corner before you get to our main grocery store. And that courtyard, I don't know what the purpose of it is for. It's just a courtyard, but there's trees, beautiful trees, and benches underneath there. And I can count the amount of times I've passed by and no one has been sitting on at least one of those benches and still have fingers left over.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
There's one H-Town.
No, peanut butter was
Demands.
not 80 cents. It was $1.99 or $1.89 or €1.89.
I might be further down than you.
I think you are. Okay. Phyllis A asks, have you started to hear about any changes? Yeah, no, none yet. I did answer that. Greta, do you plan on getting a dog?
That's hard. I think I'd love to have my dog here with me, but I think it would be kind of hard on him because I think he is getting older and stuff like that. And then the thing too is I've been thinking about it a lot, and having a dog means you're responsible for taking care of it. So if we're doing a lot of traveling, we can't take him with us.
We'd have to get a little bitty dog.
Yeah, which a lot of people here have. And if I got a dog, I've always wanted Halisi has always wanted a Portuguese water dog.
We ain't getting that until we have a house because they're too big.
Right. So
I don't believe in having big dogs in apartments.
If we bought a house with some land or something like that, probably. But living in an apartment right now, I don't see it happening. Because we wanted to bring Frisco, but we thought about it and it's like he's probably better off where he is, home. His home.
Yeah.
Because he's the king.
Yes,
it's
he
his
is.
house.
Yes.
He has big yard, comes and goes as he pleases. So
yeah. He will let you know whose house. So BP asks H&R, when you go to Mexico, will you give up your lease? No, unless we are in between leases. So no, not in the plan right now. Do you have a recommendation or who can help the whole D7 visa process? Yes. Link should be in the description. I have no affiliation besides that we use Gail from Relocate to Portugal. So just type in relocate-to-portugal.com or there's a link in the description. That's who we use. And we got approved. She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff. So what is minimum wage in Portugal? Rui, if you're still on, I believe it's about 800 euro, but it's
I
about to
think
go
it's
up
800 to 1,000, but I think
per month.
it's going up per month.
Per month. Do you know anyone who has been approved with the new digital? Not yet, not yet. But let's add, if you're in the BIP Black in Portugal group, let's ask that question there. Yes to dual citizenship, right? I thought only people like Tina Turner could do that. It just never would have occurred to me that we could, I'm not going to say so easily have two passports, because we have jumped through some hoops and it is not free. Okay, y'all. So between the scouting trip, shipping suitcases, and the money, the upfront money for first, for 2 months rent, plus, plus the deposit, etc., plus having to pay for the apartment while we were still in Denver to hold it, because you have to have the apartment before you even apply for at the San Francisco office. It was not cheap, but it was pretty straightforward. And then we have our appointments now. Seth, we don't have our appointments until May 2023, y'all. May 2023. So you guys do Rosetta Stone every morning. Yeah, we're supposed to be practicing every 15 minutes. That ain't worked. H-Town D Man games, I think. I must tell you guys, Lisbon is vastly different feel than the Algarve. Tell us more. We have not been down to the Algarve yet. And we know Rui owns a place down there, but yeah, we have not been down there yet. And I think I'm waiting for it to be cold here, and then it'll be warmer, a little bit warmer down there. Haha. So yes, that is what we are working. But I would love to hear what you say the difference is. Numinette, D7 was always supposed to be passive income. Now they've gone back to the strict word of law. Yeah. So if you're newly retired, you have to show your pension statement or your sources. I'm ready. All right, Nubianette, come on now. Come on so we can see you IRL. All right, y'all, if there's no more questions, I'm still scanning.
Rui answered the question, I think.
Okay. Even in Denmark, where people speak very good English, they speak to me in Danish. I've been told why they assume I have been told, why would they assume you were anything but Danish? Cost too much to live there. Yes, yes, and yes. But when we were in Spain, no. They knew we were American. The Africans knew we were American. When we were in Italy, same thing. Same thing. In the UK, nah, we blended. We blended.
Until you open your mouth.
Until we open our mouth. Rick says, get better. Many apartments in Southern Spain don't have central heating. Neither here. We don't have central heating. We have heaters in all of the main rooms. So yeah, Rick got COVID, y'all. For those who tuned in late, Rick got COVID. Because see, I've been wearing my mask. I never stopped wearing my mask on public transportation or in the store. And he was wearing his mask like this.
Come on now, be nice. I wasn't always wearing it like that.
Do they have the siesta in Portugal? Not like Spain. One of the things that's interesting here that we had to learn the hard way because we got hungry at the wrong time is that a lot of the restaurants that are only open for dinner open at 7 p.m. So they have dinner a lot later here. At 9 o'clock at night, it's not surprising to see little kids in the park across the street playing. So I think it's just stuff happens later here, but that like everything is closed down between 2 and 4 or whatever it was in Spain. I was like, wait, I'm hungry. What's going on? No, not like Spain. So So yeah, but on Sunday, you can expect that most of the little mini mercados are going to be closed. So yeah. Halisi and Rick, I just arrived in Barcelona for our tour of Spain and Portugal. So far, my experience has been great. Thank you for sharing your journey. Yes, thank you. You've
Thank you.
inspired me to take the scouting country. Oh, yay! Yay, 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 yay. Good for you. We love Spain. Spain is beautiful. But their visa process is not as easy. It's still pretty easy. Like compared to the United States, it's easy, but it's not as easy. What neighborhood are you in? Is there a neighborhood in Lisbon that is not overrun with tourists? So our neighborhood is not overrun with tourists. And we'll just say that we are in the Freguesia, which is like a parish of Peña de França. It's on the east side. And yeah, we live in a traditional Portuguese neighborhood. There, I don't really like the tour buses and all of that stuff. They don't come this way.
No.
They don't come this way. So, the Democrats piss me off too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but I do know that I'm not giving them any more money. I do know that. So, all right, y'all. I am not seeing any more questions. Oh, there's one. Rick, are you taking high content vitamin C?
Yes, my wife is making sure I take vitamin C
And zinc and D
and D.
and
I
E.
always take D anyway for my thyroid thing, but
Yeah, and garlic.
yeah.
And so, I don't know that the prices there are necessarily better but the prices at the mom and pop for fruits and vegetables are usually better than the chain stores. And like some of the chain stores, especially Continent, especially the big Continent, it was hard for me to find just one thing of garlic. They wanted me to buy a bag of garlic. I only use a clove or two in my meals. So one thing of garlic is enough. And you can always get just one or two when you're buying from the mini mercados. And when I say to you, they're every 5 doors, every block, I mean, they are every block with fresh fruits and vegetables. You don't have to worry about when's the farmer's market open or any of that stuff. There are no food deserts around here. What neighborhood do you recommend highly? After this visit, we may be making the move to Lisbon. It depends. It depends on what you want your life to look like, what your budget is. We love our neighborhood. We love our neighborhood. It's a lot more, it's away from the tourist area enough that it's quiet. And when we go about our daily business, we're not overrun with tourists at all.
But we can get to the tourist areas very fast if we want. We can walk to them.
Yeah, we can walk to them in about 35 minutes.
Yeah, about 30
or
minutes.
We can get on the light rail and be at the stop literally in 10 minutes. So light rail makes it king. So if you are close to, COVID test. So I went to the pharmacy to get the at-home COVID test, €1.65. I don't know what they are in the States anymore, but €1.65. So yes. So how do you calculate minimum wage for D7? The same way. So if they say you have to have minimum wage coming in, that's €800. So just do right now it's pretty much parity. So $800 a month. If it's you plus one, plus a partner spouse or something, then it is 800 plus 400. Or 800 plus, or the minimum wage plus 50% for the other person coming in. Oh, Ruiz says 705 and goes up to 760 in January. So there you go. Just round it up to 800. 800 2024.
2024 goes 810.
Yeah. So, just round it up. And then that way, if the dollar goes down, you won't have to worry about it. Okay. So H-Town D-Man Games says the Algarve is busy during the summer, but like now it's very quiet and slow, barely more than a ghost town feel. Oh, the locals are still friendly, but a lot of the stores and restaurants are closed. See, no, no. And that's another thing. So how do you want your life to look? What do you want to do on a regular basis? Do you want to be going out for drinks and then the after drinks and the speakeasy drinks and all of that? And you want easy access to that? Or what, or do you want to take day trips, and stuff? I don't know. Like, how do you see your everyday life going? And then that will dictate where you should live along with your budget. So yeah, I'm just retired at 51 in March with state pension and also disabled vet. I do not have any investment accounts, but been inspired to save and planning to live abroad. Yes, 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 and yes. If you are not part of our Fire Over 50 Facebook group, then join in so that we can support each other in getting to that financial independence. Is it cold in the apartment with no central heating? Not in ours, no. This is an updated apartment, and I don't know that I know that they did rewiring because there's plugs everywhere, and this place is too old to have plugs everywhere, as well as our internet, because like Mexico, the walls are like concrete. So the internet jacks in every single room. Also here in a lot of Europe, they have the shutters that come down on the windows. So we bring the shutters down at night. That helps. I don't know.
And the windows that we have are, I don't
Double
know if we
pane.
could double pane. Yeah.
Yeah, they're double
So,
pane windows. So yeah. See, that's why I don't want to live in a place that 100% depends on tourism. What is shopping for clothes and shoes like size-wise for Americans? In Japan, we must order most. They
I
have
think
tall folks here.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they have short folks too.
The older people tend to be
Older people are
short,
shorter.
but I've seen a lot of tall Portuguese men and women, usually younger, and then weight wise, I have seen plus size stores. So I'm not sure if that includes you, but as far as size, you have no problem. They have the older, as we said, short, younger, taller. And when I say tall, I mean like women who are at least 5'10".
Yeah, it's 5'10", 6 feet.
I was like, okay, do you play football or volleyball or something? What you playing? Yeah, I know Tina Turner gave up her citizenship, but that would be it, but not right away. And I'm not planning to give up mine because first of all, I can't afford it. And secondly, I don't know what the world's going to look like. So I like choices. With the carbon monoxide deaths recently in the news, do you all have Colorado meters in your home? I guess meters in our home in Colorado. Yes. Especially with space heaters. And we do not have space heaters here in this house. Don't need them. Don't need them so far. So, Action VJ, you were originally going to live in Almada. Do you think you would have still been happy there? Yes, because we wouldn't have known any different. But now that we live over on the Lisbon side,
Yeah.
okay, I miss the big, huge Pingo Dos that they have
Yeah,
over in Almada,
definitely.
right? But oh, sweetheart, I found a bigger one when I was on my walk by myself. So it's over there by that plaza that we didn't know we lived by that makes the churros.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the butcher. So it's almost as big as the one in Almada. So yes, I do miss that Pingo Dos. Knowing what we know now, I think after 2 years, once we get Lisbon out of our system and it's just like we stop looking up at all the pretty architecture. Once I stop looking up, then I think we could probably live everywhere. But right now, everything is still so new. And every time I turn a corner and then I see a beautiful, well-maintained street with the trees and the, wrought iron balconies and all of that. And I'm like, oh, I want to take pictures. It's like, don't you have pictures of 10 other buildings that look just like this with just different tile? But I'm still looking up, y'all. Like I'm in Manhattan, I'm still looking up. So yeah. Halisi, have you checked out the neighborhood Campo de Oric? They have a super large market there. Maybe you'll be able to find chili powder. I found my chili powder at the Liberty Market. But Campo doesn't have easy access to the metro. We've walked around there, but we haven't explored it. But it is on my list because we're doing this series on the different freguesias of Lisbon. So yeah.
Wow,
€1, 65 cents, y'all.
$20 for a COVID test.
$10 in where Auntie Trey is. Oh, what BP says, $20 for a 2-pack. Yeah, so $10 a piece. Right? How do you invest being abroad in a retirement account? I was told that if you live abroad, I couldn't do it unless I have a US address or a POA to disperse funds to my account. We have it all automated. So, money goes into our American account, and then our brokerage accounts takes money out, or money is transferred automatically from our savings account to the brokerage account, just as it was when I was living there. We're temporary residents of Portugal, y'all.
Yeah, but we still show a residency in America.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a state that you vote in, right? So, and we still have real estate property in the United States. But yeah, I haven't had any problems with that. And we do not have a carbon monoxide alarm here, I don't think. But I was thinking about getting one. I don't know why that has been an issue recently. And the only thing that's gas here is the water heater, which is in the kitchen. So
No, that's not gas. That's electric.
I thought it was gas.
There's no gas lines in this apartment.
Period.
I've checked it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's electric.
Well, maybe that's why our gas bill is so low. Should be. Okay, this is a question for you, Rick, and then that's the end of it.
How's the seafood? Well, seafood is good. I mean, there's all kind of fresh seafood. We haven't cooked any seafood or anything like that. But the times that I have had seafood, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a whole lot.
And it's in every single, it's in every single grocery store in the States as well.
Yeah, you can get prawns and oh my God.
But it's
just huge.
Shrimp like this big.
Oh, they're bigger than that in some places. I haven't tried everything. I keep hearing, what's the fish that Stephanie likes? Bacalao?
Yes.
Cod?
Yes.
I haven't tried that yet, but everybody keeps saying how great it is. I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to try it. I probably will. I eat sardines, for God's sake. And it wasn't too bad, but hey, I'm open.
All I know is there's always chicken.
I ain't eating no octopus. I just can't get into the octopus, but
I don't want to eat anything that's looking at me.
Squid I can eat. Fried. Calamari. I can even eat snails.
They eat a lot of snails here during the summer. I think June, is the season when all of these little snails arrive wherever they arrive on the shorelines or whatever.
See, now that would piss me off. And that's something really. That's something that I wanted to ask Rui about. And we can maybe because we owe him coffee or lunch or something anyway. Maybe we can take him to lunch. He could tell us more about the snails and stuff.
Butcher shops are like mini mercados. They're everywhere. And so we get our bacon freshly sliced just for us at the right thickness that we like. And we get, like the hamburgers and different meats and stuff like that. I've yet to buy a raw chicken because I do want to fry some chicken up. So got the oil, haven't bought the chicken yet. The Rona got us. But yes, butcher shops we have 3 within walking distance, easy walking distance from our apartment. And same was the case when we were on the other side of the river. So, yes, okay. So some people would say that's old fashioned. The way Portuguese do stuff is old fashioned. And yeah, it reminds me of the 50s in that regard, that most of the things that you need on a daily basis are owned by mom and pop, are family owned. The cafes, the restaurants, the besides, what is it, Merlin Leroy or whatever, but our local little hardware store.
It's spelled Leroy Merlin's, but it's a totally different way of pronunciation. And honestly, to get to Auntie Trey, she says she loves sardines. These aren't the sardines in a can. They don't eat the sardines in a can. These are full size sardine fish that they I guess you would say, I say barbecue, but they put on a grill and they actually cook it. And it's the real size sardine fish.
Yeah.
Not the little ones in the can. And it's good. The meat is wonderful. The bones got on my nerves, but somebody was telling me how you eat sardines. There's a certain way you eat it.
So that you
There's
can
a different
avoid.
way. And I was just picking and pulling like the American way. They said, no, you can't eat like that.
Now you got to watch a YouTube video before you conquer the sardines here.
Sardines
and again, during June, and maybe even further, but June is like the month of saints, and they're every freguesia is having a competition on who has the coolest this and that, and then they every freguesia is also dresses up, have people dress up for the big parade that's on Avenue de Liberdad. So yeah, Liberdad. It is a good time, and they are grilling up sardines everywhere. Bacalhau, yeah. So this is Rui says snails with bread and butter, cold beer, but you need to know how to do them. No. We do. I do not need to know how to do them because Halisi does not. I do not eat insects.
Rui, me and you going to have to go do this because I can do the snails, but them little tiny ones they just piss me off. So I like the kind of bigger ones, but yeah, I hear you. We're going to have to do some snails and beer.
You see this fish? This face? No. If, for example, y'all were going to have a meetup, what month would it be? Probably the spring, I would say. I would say the spring. We are going to be on a Christmas bazaar hunt for the holiday season, because you know how your downtown puts all the lights up, right? Well, here, they're everywhere, and I just cannot wait. The other thing, they have like holiday bazaars, usually in the plazas or in front of churches, like they do in Spain and things like that. They were already setting up something down there at one of the parks. So I cannot wait to see all of that. And experience it in Lisbon during the holidays for the first time. But I think that if we were to have a meetup, Action BJ, it would be in the spring. So we'll have to think about that, and we'll talk about it in the Facebook group. But I think we have done it. So top 5 reasons for leaving the U.S. Peace of mind, because the culture is crazy, especially the gun culture and the politics. Healthcare is out of control and will bankrupt you. Cost of living is out of control. Consumerism is pervasive, ubiquitous, and just leaves you feeling depressed, in my opinion. Left me feeling depressed. And then the 5th reason is we just needed a new adventure. Top reasons why we chose Portugal over any other country is access to the other countries that we want to travel to. So this is a great home base. The cost of living here. Portugal is one of the safest countries in the world. The ease of getting a visa and citizenship, they make a pathway. It's very clear and easy to navigate. The healthcare system is top notch and so much better than the States. They're not even on the same level. The weather here is lovely, and we don't have to shovel snow anymore. And the culture of the emphasis on family and living and not on work. And I'm going to leave this with you guys because I just got my hair cut again, and I got at the train station is where I get my hair cut. Because in the bigger train stations, they have little malls in them. But this one at Alameda also has a nursing room. And I think I've said this to you all before, but this just blows my mind because I noticed it again when I was there. And it had the nice soft music playing. It was crystal clean. Had a lazy boy type chair in there, the music playing, a long counter for the changing table and everything in the train station, y'all. To me, that shows, and that could have been retail space. But instead, they decided it was more important to make sure that moms were supported and had a place, because most people are taking public transportation, had a place to do what they needed to do. That emphasis on family and people over profits, that's the culture that we're talking about. And that's what we love about Portugal. All right, y'all, we love you. Next week, we are going to be interviewing Estenio from Angola. Angola used to be one of the colonies of Portugal, so he does speak Portuguese. He speaks English as well. He lived on the continent. So for all y'all who are talking about why won't you choose the continent, let's hear why he chose to come here and not stay in his home country of Angola. So, and what he thinks about living in Lisbon without the American privilege, if y'all know what I mean. So, 1 week left, y'all. If you want to get your money straight and have that money mindset makeover, you have 1 week left to sign up, join our Fire Over 50 Facebook group. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. 50% of the folks, if you're watching from the future, I'm probably talking to you. 50% of the folks who watch our videos are not subscribers. If not, why not? Commit. Yeah. Commit. You love us. We love you. Commit.
It ain't costing you nothing.
Right? Hit that notification bell so you know every time we drop a new video. We are going to be putting together some more small content. We hope to have done that for this week, and then we got under the weather. So if you have more questions after this about moving to Portugal, getting residency, moving abroad in general, how to get your money straight, we do one-on-one calls. Go to ourblackutopia.com and /let's talk, and you can book time with us. If not, we'll see you in the Facebook group, or we'll see you next week.
Hey, Troop. Just saw Troop popped in.
Hey there.
I just want to get outside again.
Yes, and yes. Love y'all. Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Love you guys.